Your brain freezes every time someone speaks English fast. You understand the words. You know the grammar. But when it's your turn to speak, nothing comes out. And the worst part, you start thinking maybe you're just bad at English. But listen carefully. You are not bad at English. Your brain is simply tired of translating everything first. And today that changes. So relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and read along with me. Because this video is not a test. It's practice for real life, real English, real confidence. And little by little, you're going to feel your English changing while you watch. Have you ever practiced English alone, then suddenly forgot everything when talking to a real person? Maybe someone asked you a simple question like, "How was your weekend?" And your brain panicked. You knew the answer in your language immediately. But in English, your mind went blank. Then later, hours later, your brain suddenly created the perfect answer. That feeling is exhausting, and so many adult learners secretly experience this every single day. At work, at school, during interviews, on phone calls, even ordering food. And because of that fear, many people stop speaking completely. But here's something important. Confidence does not come first. Practice comes first. Confidence grows after repetition, not before. That changes everything. So today, we're going to practice together naturally. No pressure, no perfect grammar, just communication. Because real English is not about sounding perfect. It's about connecting with people. Imagine this. You walk into a coffee shop. The worker smiles and says, "Hi, what can I get for you today?" Normally, your brain starts translating. Coffee, milk, sugar, words everywhere. But this time, you stay calm. You smile and say, "Can I get a medium coffee, please?" Simple, clear, natural. That's fluency. Not difficult vocabulary, not advanced grammar, just calm communication. And did you notice something? You already understood that conversation easily. That means your English is stronger than you think. Most learners ignore this small victory, but small victories matter very much because fluency is built from hundreds of tiny successful moments, not one magical moment. Now, here's something interesting. A lot of learners believe native speakers speak too fast, but actually, your brain is trying to translate every single word. That's what makes English feel fast. So instead of translating everything, start listening for meaning. For example, if someone says, "Hey, are you free tomorrow?" Don't translate every word. Just feel the meaning. Someone wants to know your availability. That's all. Meaning first, translation second. This tiny shift changes listening completely. And something amazing starts happening. You react faster. You feel calmer. You stop chasing every word. And suddenly, English feels lighter. Now, let's practice together. Imagine your coworker says, "Did you finish the report?" Your brain may want to panic, but listen to this simple response. Almost. I'll finish it this afternoon. Short, natural, confident. Again, almost. I'll finish it this afternoon. Can you feel that? That sentence feels usable, real, human, not textbook English. This is exactly how fluency grows, through repeated, useful patterns, not memorizing giant grammar rules. And here's another secret nobody tells adult learners. You do not need to understand 100% to communicate successfully. That idea alone scares people. But think about your own language. Sometimes you miss words too. Sometimes people speak unclearly. Sometimes you guess from context. That's normal communication. So stop putting impossible pressure on yourself. You are learning, and learning means imperfect moments. Now imagine this situation. You meet someone new. They ask, "So what do you do?" Instant panic. Right. A lot of learners freeze here. But let's simplify it. You don't need a complicated answer. You can simply say, "I work in sales," or "I'm a teacher," or "I work at a hospital." Simple answers create real conversations. Then the other person continues talking. And now you're communicating, not performing. There's a huge difference. And honestly, many English learners are not afraid of English itself. They are afraid of embarrassment, afraid of making mistakes, afraid people will judge them. Maybe you felt this too. Maybe someone laughed once. Maybe you forgot a word during an exam. Maybe someone switched to your native language immediately. That hurts, especially as an adult, because adults want to sound intelligent, capable, professional. But remember this carefully. Making mistakes while speaking English does not make you look stupid. Staying silent forever hurts your growth much more. And every confident speaker you admire, they were once nervous too. Every single one. Now let me show you something powerful. Instead of saying, "My English is bad," try saying, "I'm improving my English every day." Feel the difference. One sentence creates shame. The other creates progress. Your brain listens to your words. So speak to yourself carefully, especially during learning. Now let's continue practicing naturally. Imagine you're talking on the phone. This situation scares many learners because there are no facial expressions, only listening, only speaking. The other person says, "Hello, I'm calling about your appointment tomorrow." Your heart starts beating faster, but instead of panicking, use simple survival phrases. "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower?" These phrases are powerful. Why? Because confident communicators ask for help when needed. They do not pretend to understand everything. That's real communication skill, not perfection. And by the way, native speakers repeat themselves all the time too. Now, here's another small breakthrough. Stop trying to sound advanced immediately. A lot of learners think complicated English sounds smarter, but actually, clear English sounds confident. Simple English works. Simple English connects. Simple English gets jobs, passes interviews, builds friendships, and helps you speak without fear. That's why reading along out loud matters so much. Because your mouth needs practice too, not just your brain. Many learners only study silently. Then they wonder why speaking feels difficult. But speaking is physical. Your mouth needs repetition. Your tongue needs rhythm. Your ears need familiarity. That's why right now, you are training multiple skills together. Listening, speaking, pronunciation, confidence, sentence flow, and your brain is adapting, even if you don't notice it yet. That's the beautiful part. Improvement often feels invisible at first, until one day, you suddenly respond faster. You understand more. You stop freezing, and you realize something changed. Now imagine this. You're in an English exam. Your hands feel cold. Your mind feels empty. You studied for weeks, but anxiety blocks everything. This happens to so many learners, not because they are unprepared, but because fear interrupts thinking. So what should you do? Slow down physically. Breathe slowly. Read slowly. Your brain works better when your body feels safe. And during speaking exams, do not rush your answers. Short, clear answers are completely okay. For example, what did you do last weekend? You can say, I stayed home and watched movies with my family. Simple, natural, correct. You do not need to tell a giant dramatic story. Small, clear communication is enough. Always remember that. Now I want to ask you something. Have you noticed how children learn languages? They repeat constantly, without shame, without overthinking. Adults often do the opposite. Too much thinking, too much fear, too much self-judgment. But fluency grows faster when you relax into the language, not when you attack yourself every day. So from today, celebrate tiny progress. Understood one sentence. That matters. Spoke for 10 seconds. That matters. Asked one question confidently. That matters. Tiny wins become fluency. And right now, you are already practicing something important. Consistency, not motivation. Consistency, because motivation disappears sometimes. Everyone experiences that. But small daily practice changes your brain over time. Even 10 minutes matters, especially when practice feels emotional and real. That's why reading along is powerful. You are not memorizing random words. You are experiencing English emotionally, and emotional learning stays longer in memory. Now imagine this final situation. You're speaking English with someone, and suddenly you forget a word. Old you panics, old you freezes, but new you stays calm. you smile and explain the idea differently, because communication is flexible. For example, maybe you forget the word umbrella. You can say, the thing people use when it rains. And guess what? People understand you. That is real fluency. Finding ways to communicate instead of giving up. Can you feel your mindset changing a little? Good, because English confidence is not born in one day. It grows through moments exactly like this. Moments where you keep going even while nervous. Moments where you speak anyway. Moments where you stop waiting to become perfect first. And I want you to remember something after this video ends. You are closer than you think. Seriously, your English does not need to become perfect overnight. You just need one more conversation, one more practice session, one more moment of courage. That's how transformation happens. Slowly, quietly, then suddenly. So here's your challenge after this video. Today, speak one small sentence out loud in English. Just one. Maybe while ordering food. Maybe while texting. Maybe while talking to yourself in the mirror. But do it calmly. Do it proudly. Because every sentence you speak is proof that you are improving. And the more you practice, the less your brain will freeze, the less fear controls you, and the more natural English begins to feel. You are not starting from zero. You are building momentum, one sentence at a time. And honestly, I think you're doing much better than you realize.